Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's Carol Ward here. This is episode 2 of Going Vegan My Journey, and tonight we're talking about my triumphs and my trials. Before we get started, just a reminder of who I am. I'm Carol Ward. I'm a businesswoman. I am a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a friend to many, and I am an entrepreneur. I am the CEO and owner of CarolWardFitness.com, and my mission in life is to help people get healthy from the inside out, helping them build their confidence, find peace, find joy, get fit, all while having a ball at life. So, a little bit about me is that, I guess what I should say is that part of my journey that I didn't share with you last night when we talked about detoxing was because it was a little bit painful for me and I didn't want to cry on camera. And today if I have tears, they're real. So just know that I'm human. So I talked yesterday about how, in my blog anyway, about how this journey going vegan came as a result of detoxing. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't part of the plan. It just was a daily walk that I walked out really with the help of the Lord and just really saying, okay, I'm going to just take it as it comes. Definitely the detox was a vegan detox, and then from there I actually did embark with my handy dandy NutriBullet on a 2-round journey of their transformation meal plan, which involved, if I wanted to, I could add back in meats and cheeses, but I chose not to add back in meats and cheeses, and it just was making sure that you had certain foods in your diet through the day, just like any kind of meal plan. It was a meal plan, and then they gave the description and they gave recipes, and you can make whatever recipes work for you. And then of course it was involving at least 1 to 2, and I think in the end maybe 3 juices a day in addition to your food. So because I felt so healthy, I think that that's what kept me on track. Now let me go back a little bit to the history of it. As I mentioned, in 2012, someone close to me got really sick. So it was my aunt. My aunt had been a 25-year breast cancer survivor, and in 2012 she was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma. And here goes the waterworks. In 2013, or in 2012, I mean, she actually had chemo and had gone through all of that, and then she ended up having to have cataract surgery because her vision wasn't so good, and she was borderline diabetic, and they had told her that there's a chance that she could have complications after the cataract surgery. Now, she had it in both eyes and at different times within a couple months of one another, and she was 69 at the time. And I remember her calling me one day and telling me that she had complications from the surgery, from the cataract surgery, and that they were really convinced, the doctors were, that she would lose her vision in that eye. And sure enough, she had a stroke in that eye and she lost her sight. So I think in that moment it made me realize that not only did she have cancer, not only did she have diabetes, but now she's having this issue with her sight just from simple cataract surgery. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm 22 pounds overweight, well, more than that, and my cholesterol was at its highest at that time. My blood pressure, I was on blood pressure medication, and my blood sugar was borderline. And it honestly scared me, and it made me realize how short life was. The reason for the tears is that in 2013, May of 2013, my aunt lost her battle. It was in January 2013, January 7th, 2013, that I made the decision to get healthy, that her life had impacted mine in such a profound way that I wanted to get healthy, and I
hoped and prayed that it would impact other people's lives along the path along the way. And it has, thankfully. Okay. Enough about the tears. Enough about my aunt. God love her. Rest in peace, Aunt Diane. What happened was I definitely had struggles along the way. I was a newbie. I had no clue how to be a vegan. I had no clue what that meant. None of my friends were vegans. And I remember it seems like everything I've resisted in my life is what I have become, or what has been added into my life, interestingly enough. I never wanted to go holistic in my medical treatment. I never wanted to eat vegan. I didn't understand it. And now I'm completely both of those things. And the journey, as I mentioned, that some of the struggles that I faced were finding good protein sources. I kind of resorted in the beginning to going with muscle milk, which is not very healthy for you, by the way. And when you're lactose intolerant, it does have milk caseins in it, which didn't really agree with my body. And so I tortured my body just to try and get protein. Certainly I was looking for sources that had a lot of amino acids in it, so I did turn to some supplements as well, because at the time I was also working out. I was doing a high intensity workout. I did Turbo Fire, and then after that I did Insanity, and it was insane, and I had to up my protein and up my calories a little bit to compensate. And so I needed to find protein sources that weren't just lentils and chickpeas and beans. I didn't really want tofu. I didn't like meat. I didn't even want to taste the meatless meats. And so I really, I was struggling with what to eat. I was also struggling with, I traveled for work a lot, with how to plan my meals before I left to go. I had never really meal planned before, which would explain my lack of success on some of the fitness nutrition plans I had in my arsenal that never followed before. And I really found that I had to prep. I had a food prep before I went out on my trip for work, and if I was going to go out to dinner or lunch with someone, I had to really look at the menu. Like, let's plan in advance where we're going, and let me take a look at the menu so I can plan out in advance what I was going to eat. So all of that came through trial and error. It was not just instant in my mind. And it was something that I walked through. I today do protein a whole lot differently, and I have done so through the years differently because I realized that muscle milk didn't work for me. For a time I went with some vegan proteins that I found at Whole Foods, or there's some little markets that are close by me that are health food markets that I like to go to. So I found a couple of different brands of protein, of pea protein. The thing I had to really learn about that is finding one that didn't upset my stomach in that case as well. And then also making sure I got something, if it's amino support, if it's a protein supplement, that it had the appropriate amino acids in it. And so, so today everything looks a lot more differently. I do still do shakes. I don't always do the green shakes. I do start off my year doing a green detox, which I love. And by the way, I haven't had hives since my very first detox, which just tells me my body is pretty clean. And then I do shakes, however, during the day that have protein and superfoods and vitamins and antioxidants and amino support in them. But I also have come a long way to where now I eat meatless meats, and I eat a bunch of grains that I always, forever in my life, would have avoided. Brown rice and quinoa, and the list goes on. So, so I say all that to say that, there have been triumphs and trials along the way. I would say probably more trials, I can't even speak, trials in the beginning, more triumphs as I've gotten further in the game. But I'm glad for those struggles because they taught me a lot about what works for me and what doesn't. And I didn't rely on just other people feeding me a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong, I did I did turn to the health people, the professionals, the health food stores and things of that nature for help. But mainly I trusted my gut as I went through the process. So it's been a journey, it's been a walk, and I'm still walking it out every single day. And although it looks a lot different, it is a part of my life in a huge way. So I hope that this really resonated with someone, that maybe got a nugget of information that maybe you didn't have before. And certainly give me your comments in the comments section. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I'm happy to answer those for you. I know if you're trying to get healthy, or if you're on a journey to become a vegan, that's a choice you've made. I might have some answers for you. I may have some direction, some recipes even that you can follow. So certainly leave some information in the comments section for me. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, please, and subscribe. Also go to carolwardfitness.com because you'll see this video in a blog. And then, of course, tune in tomorrow. I've got to take a look at my notes to see. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the specific health benefits that I saw as a result of going vegan. It's not just from going vegan. It was from the whole process that I went through, so I don't want to misconstrue that. As a little disclaimer, I want to make sure people know that I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not in the medical community at all. I just did what worked for me and my body. Everyone's got to find their own path. So if you're curious about going vegan, maybe it's time to consult with your doctor and make sure that it's the right path for you. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry it's been such a long one, but I'm excited to hear your feedback. Thank you. Take care. Good night.